Tonight on JoyNews Prime, reactions pour into the governing MPP's promises contained in the 2020 Manifesto launched at the weekend.
To help generate confidence even for landlords, and you're beginning to see maybe some people now moving to investing into rental housing, which is a good idea. And then it also gives security to prospective tenants.
Residents of the Cape Coast have also been reacting to the promise to build for them an airport and harbour.
It's nice to get an airport in Cape Coast. I don't think the airport is the solution to our problem. We prefer the business, but for Cape Coast here, I don't think they have the land to do the airport.
For the airport, Cape Coasters, we need job, work.
Meanwhile, the NDC has been outlining what it says are falsehoods contained in the presentation on the infrastructure achievements of the governing NPP delivered by Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia last week. The CPP flag bearer who was also elected over the weekend is pleading with Ghanaians to give the party a chance to make a difference.
If you want to vote, you have to vote for another party that would actually damage and create a new political dynamic in this country.
In business,
Ghana to miss out on single-digit inflation for this year as prices of some food items increases.
JHS candidates in the Upper East Region capital Bolgatanga get served the hot meal President Akufo-Addo promised.
I'd like to thank Our Excellency, Mr. President, for providing us this hot meal this afternoon. It's really good for us and it will motivate us because some of us don't bring food to school. And
it's hot, very hot. Can't you see I'm sweating?
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The JoyNews Prime comes to you live from our studios in Kokomlimle here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV because we are free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. On your election headquarters, days after Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia's presentation on achievements by government, especially in the area of infrastructure, the debate is still raging. The opposition NDC at a news conference on Monday has been outlining what it claims are total falsehoods contained in the Vice President's delivery, as well as the online delivery tracker portal launched at last week's event. Communications Director of the party, Sami Jemfi, addressed a news conference today.
Ladies and gentlemen, after our painstaking investigations into the claims made by Dr. Bawumia at a town hall meeting and the delivery tracker which was launched at the program, we have identified hundreds, ghost into bracket non-existent projects and thousands of stolen Mahama and private-owned projects which have been appropriated by this government as the achievements. But for want of space and time, we will limit ourselves to a few examples and support most of them with pictorial and video evidence to demonstrate this point. So we will humbly appeal to the cameramen to capture the pictorial and video evidence we are about to show. Ghost project number 1. Bawumia's claim at page 41 of his speech that this government is constructing 13,000 units at 2nd D in Tuma Estate, which is about 70% complete, is a figment of his own imagination, as same does not exist anywhere in the 2nd D metropolis. And we, at page 41 of his speech, that this government is constructing, this time around not 13, but 500,000 units at Sefrioso, which is 20% complete, is yet another palpable falsehood, as no such project exists in Sefrioso. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghost project number 3. They claim at page 40 of Bawumia's speech that this government is constructing 120 affordable housing units in the Talensi district of the Upper East region, which is 20% complete, is yet another lie, as no such project exists. So let us see the video of that project. Ghost project number 4. Dr. Bawumia's claim that Dromankese, a town in the Nkranza area in the Bunu East region, town roads, have been tiled, is another ghost project. This claim can be found on their so-called delivery tracker, which they launched last week, Tuesday. And this is a big on government's delivery tracker that they have rehabilitated the and let them not make the mistake of pulling down these projects, because we have all the screenshots there saved, and so they cannot dispute any of the claims we are making here. We've gone through the delivery tracker. Because of time, we cannot show you all the screenshots, but should they try to pull a fast one on us by pulling these projects down, the screenshots we have will expose them.
On the issues of alleged bloating of the cost of the Nkrumah interchange, Samit Jemfi accused Dr. Bawumia of deliberately misleading the public.
Friends from the media, the claim by Dr. Bawumia that the Kwame Nkrumah interchange cost $260 million is a barefaced lie. What Dr. Bawumia did was that he added the cost of 2 separate and distinct projects, Kwame Nkrumah interchange and the Ring Road flyover, and created the impression as though that was the cost of just one project. Let me repeat this for emphasis. What Dr. Bawumia did was that he added the cost of 2 separate and distinct projects, the Kwame Nkrumah interchange and the Ring Road flyover, and created the impression as though that was the cost of just one project, the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. He then proceeded to engage in a pedestrian comparison of the the cost of projects which has different scope of works and specifications. This mischief, ladies and gentlemen, which was peddled by no less a person than the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, is shameful and reprehensible, to say the least. For the records, the cost of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange project, as approved by Parliament and expended by the contractor, is 74.8 million euros, equivalent to $90 million at the time. This fact is contained in the Parliamentary Hansard of 16th August 2012, when the transaction was approved by the 5th Parliament of Ghana, with the full participation and approval of the then MPP minority. Let me repeat this point again. For the records, ladies and gentlemen, the cost of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange, as approved by Parliament and expended by the contractor, is 74.8 million euros and not $260 million, as was claimed by Dr. Bawumia. 74 million euros is a cost equivalent to $90 million at the time. And this fact is contained in the Parliamentary Hansard of 16th August 2012, when the transaction was approved by the 5th Parliament of Ghana, with the full participation and approval of the MPP minority. After 2 years, when this project was approved, the Kwame Nkrumah interchange was approved after 2 years, the Mahama government laid before Parliament another export credit facility. That was after 2 years, for the design and construction of another project, the Ring Road flyover, at a cost of $170 million. This transaction was approved on the 2nd of October 2014 by the Seat Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. It is important to emphasize that the two projects, Kwame Nkrumah Interchange and the Ring Road Flyover, are distinct from each other and were separately approved by Parliament at different periods, in fact 2 years apart, for different purposes. The scope of work of the two projects are totally different, and so it is disingenuous and shameful for Dr. Bawumia, an economist, to lump the cost of the two separate projects together and create the impression that same is inflated.
The NDC presidential candidate and former President John Dramani Mahama has ended his tour of the Volta and Oche regions with a call on voters there to reject the governing NPP at the polls this December. According to the former president, the huge sums of money borrowed by the current government does not reflect the level of development and realities on the ground. He adds that a vote for the NPP in the December polls will jeopardize the future of the younger generation. Correspondent Peter Seno has more in the following report.
John Mahama's tour of the Oti region took him first to Nkunya Hinkro and Ntumda, where he interacted with the chiefs and people of the area with one promise, thus ending the decades-old conflict between the people of Nkunya and Alavanyo.
And so, Kakakana, Living Asaba, Namia Puluti, Yanuma, Senebea, the Vetena Asudrama. And we say, I say, without peace, there can be development. So I can say, a control, but they are any control, intimate.
John Mahama also agreed to the request made by the paramount chief of Nkunya Urupong traditional area, Nana Asikwa, to upgrade their health center to the status of a polyclinic.
At this time, when you come to power, remember that our healthcare, especially I said that point, that Urupong health center should be turned to a polyclinic or hospital. I have assured that when I come, we'll continue the ones that have been funded, and we will also build new ones in areas that are underserved. And I know that Biakuye is one of the districts that is underserved when it comes to health facilities.
At Uraura, John Mahama said he would revamp the rice mill in the area, which belonged to Papa Kwesi Indum. He blamed the MPP for supervising it to collapse. The NDC candidate, during his visit to the region, also re-echoed his plan to legalize and regulate motorcycles for commercial use. According to him, that would be a more sustainable means to provide jobs than NAPCO and YEA.
Regulations and that when you now what do traffic light I will say and your man was over here now what take me right here you bet you what this one when the police in the answer now no more we okay there on motor no you the be better no be him say where you okada where you private.
John Mahama also said his next government, after the December polls, would ensure the completion of the targeted number of E-blocks to end what he referred to as traffic light implementation of the free SHS.
Say, 200 schools now, yes, you know. The best of them, tem here. Me a teacher for Dana for school, ni bebre. So the so double track, you become.
Another major policy issue announced by the flag bearer of the NDC is he wants to return the procurement of food in schools back to headmasters, since they are the administrators of the schools. The issue of roads, potable water, ensuring peace during the pending elections, among others, were not left out. Peter Hassanu for JoyNews.
And from the NDC to the NPP, because the promise by the governing NPP to build an airport and harbour in Cape Coast is one that's got a lot of people talking. For many, the truth did not readily answer the needs of the region, and that it is politically motivated to win votes. Well, JoyNews' Central Region correspondent Richard Kwejenyako has been speaking to residents who apparently have varied views about the promise.
The New Patriotic Party just left the shores of Cape Coast. In fact, it was here that their 2020 manifesto was launched. They indicated that they had some goodies in there for the people of Cape Coast. They mentioned airports, and then they mentioned the harbour. We are here at the famous London Bridge in Cape Coast to gauge the reaction of the people these promises were made to.
Oh, no, your story. Your story.
I've been saying,
and then so what's our go for so fair? Then fairness or too short tomorrow. And just a baby. Now, Kabusuma never catch in the airport a baby. Well, we know I'm in one way, all this one says about Ebeka. As one is you, this is left from right until won't be later.
So, is it that airports in Asia want to mean another hub on the want to miss?
Master, Bibero want to my and Chassis no do one the critical one. No, but can in the Wahade. Obey. Oh, yata. Airport BBI in Yepe. Now you're too short. Until we want to know a story.
Joe Boy just spoke to us. He's indicating that if they had something good for the people of Cape Coast, they would have started during their first term when they were given the mantle. But as it stands now, they do not really trust the airports and then the harbour promise that has been made to them.
Airport and harbour, to me, is good. But if only they can do it. Harbour is good for Cape Coasters. For instance, Tama harbour is now choke. Takrady is also choke. So when they expand the harbour system to Cape Coast, I think I appreciate that. And that one there, we are happy. For the airport, me, Cape Coasters, we need job, work, you understand? So even though they can do the airport, but I am suggesting that they should bring a very big one factory for the youth to be employed. You see, we need to be economically empowered before. But if airport is there, people, the pocket of people is empty. They can't go for the plane to go to Accra or whatever. You understand? So we are pleading to the government that there should be a very big factory, not the airport. The harbour, we appreciate, let the harbour come.
I would have loved it. It's nice to get an airport in Cape Coast. I don't think the airport is the solution to our problem. We prefer the business. Fine. If they move further from Cape Coast, I think they can get the land and they use the name as Cape Coast International Airport. Fine. Or Cape Coast Airport. Fine. But for Cape Coast here, I don't think they have the land to do the airport. Is it fishing harbour or a harbour for a proper business? We have, maybe it might be fishing harbour fine. As for that one, I think it can work.
Actually, it's long overdue that we got an airport, if not even a harbor, an airport, because it has really slowed the development in Cape Coast. Taking into consideration Accra, the airport there has given them access to a lot of investors that has opened up the city. If you look at Cape Coast is a big place, but then because there are no investors to invest in faraway lands, we consider them, when we are going to places like that, we consider them like we are traveling. But then in Accra, it's not like that. And it's long overdue, and it is much needed here.
Head of the Center for Settlement Studies at the KNUST, Professor Divine Ahadzie, is however advising the NPP to review its manifesto policy on rent to include workers in the informal sector. He argues the NPP's National Rent Assistance Scheme focuses on workers in the formal sector who constitute just a fraction of Ghana's workshop. Under the proposed rent scheme, regular deductions will be made on the income of beneficiaries to offset a rent loan to be advanced by government in partnership with the private sector. Though he admits the policy is a good step, he says attention should be focused more on increasing the housing supply.
If you all know the problems that we encounter when it comes to rent in this country. So I think that with this particular policy from the government, first of all, when you look at it from the perspective of the landlords, to help generate confidence even for landlords, and you're beginning to see maybe some people now moving to investing into rental housing, which is a good idea. And then it also gives security to prospective tenants, knowing that now if I have to look for a house, there is something I can fall on. So in all honesty, I would say it is something which is a good thing, and it is interesting. But then there are also issues, as I know, because of the larger problems that we have in terms of where are even the houses and what type of houses, where is the data to know that you have 1 bedroom here, you have 2 bedroom, you have 3 bedroom here. I mean, we need a very robust data for this thing to work effectively. And then there is also the issue of the formal and the informal. And listening to snapshots of it yesterday, the impression I get is that it's about the formal sector. You see, and that's actually the direction that Ghana has addressed housing since independence, and we are where we are. Yeah. You see, we always tend to look at housing, forgetting about the larger population. So I will want to see what are the details involved and how the informal sector are going to be packaged, to be part of it.
You talked about data, lack of data. Are you saying that there are not data available?
Yeah, it's because of the way we build, because it's basically individuals who are building for themselves using the self-build approach. So I built my house, 5-bedroom house, and I'm giving it out for a rent. It's not on the data. For instance, if you're talking about new tenants or graduates who are coming out of school, they are going to need maybe a simple one room. The question is, do you have the supply to meet the number? Where is the data? You see, but if people are just building their houses based on their own needs and giving out to them, then you find a situation where the houses are rather skewed to a particular group of people. So that is the direction that because if I'm a graduate and finally I want to get a house, and the houses that are available are all 4 bedrooms, when I just need a single room. So you find out that even if that fund is there, because it is for 4 bedroom and it's not for 1 bedroom, it will defeat the purpose, because it's going to be more expensive. And what I didn't also hear was I heard that was going to be a loan.
Yes.
We didn't hear anything about interest. But then going forward, I think Ghana, we have to look at 3 main areas in terms of our mortgage industry. If we fully develop our mortgage industry, some of these things will begin to find their own level. We increase the housing supply. Then something that the government's mandate that it is doing, which is the job creation. So if people have got the jobs, you have got a mortgage system, and you have increased housing supply, some of these problems will naturally find their own level, in that direction. But then the issue of affordability and looking at the people who are vulnerable, about the 70%, because I also heard the term low cost. You see, and this is also a term that we have used before. And you build so many low-cost houses, and that one too didn't turn out to be even affordable. So I think.
And so the CPP re-elected flag bearer Ivor Greenstreet has challenged the special prosecutor Martin Amidi to make public his achievements since the establishment of his office. He argues there's very little to show by way of delivery. President Akufo-Addo, during his tour of the Western region, expressed confidence in the work of the special prosecutor, indicating the office has been well resourced to operate at full capacity. Mr. Greenstreet, however, argues the office needs to render a detailed account of its successes since its inception.
Corruption is a phenomenon that exists in Ghana and all over the world. It has permeated, certainly in Ghana, many of our institutions, and it is a continuous process to try and solve that problem. And we have a problem in our country with how institutions are properly resourced. The resource available to ExCo, or the resources available to the Accountant General, or the resources available to the Special Prosecutor, or the resources available to the police. I mean, the various institutions that ordinarily would exist to deal with these problems themselves have challenges in many respects, and as so many of our institutions do. But I believe there's a national anti-corruption plan, and steps are being made to try and reduce it.
But the president says he has resourced the office of the special prosecutor.
Well,
so what will be your own assessment on the work of the special prosecutor?
Well,
according to the president.
Well, another office where there was much expectation, but as at now, there seems to be a shortage in terms of delivery. But perhaps there are reasons for that. I don't think we can just criticize for the sake of criticizing. I'm sure the office itself may have reasons to explain why that is the case. They may have.
And you want him to explain why they failed to deliver?
I believe every institution which has people running them needs to demonstrate why their mandate is succeeding or not succeeding, and give it a full account of what they've been able to achieve. I think that is very important.
So he should come and let Ghanaians know what he's been able to achieve. I
believe that so far, from time to time, they have come out with the odd statements here and there and things that they are doing, but clearly, they don't appear to have been any significant achievements, unless maybe I've missed those on the radar.
And so to come in this bulletin, Ghana to miss out on single-digit inflation for this year as prices of some food items remain high. The details shortly when Sandra Peno takes over.
Good evening, everyone. I am Sandra Isenamapin, and I'm here for business. The country could miss achieving single-digit inflation for this year as prices of some food items remain high. The nation has been enjoying single-digit inflation since August 2019 until March 2020. But according to the Bank of Ghana's Inflation Outlook report, the sharp rise in inflation in the second quarter of this year somehow affected the slowdown in inflation. Here's a Business Desk report.
The central bank said the disruption in the disinflation process has a potential of prolonging the time horizon for reaching a stable state of inflation. Latest forecast shows that inflation is currently above its upper limit, driven mostly by food prices. Adjusting for the unusual noise in the food inflation, the indications are that underlying inflationary pressures are stable. The projections, however, show a return of inflation to the medium-term target band by the second quarter of 2021, partly conditional on corrective fiscal measures being introduced in the near term. According to the report, inflation expectations of the financial sector, businesses and consumers have all trended upwards. This could compel the Monetary Policy Committee to adjust the policy rate, the rate at which it lends to commercial banks, upwards from the present 14.5%. This means cost of credit may go up. Inflation began the year at 7.8%, but prices of goods and services, particularly foodstuffs amid COVID-19, have pushed it beyond 11%. It recorded a rate of 11.4% in July after going up by a marginal 0.1%.
Meanwhile, investors are said to be fleeing the stock market and investing their monies in safer haven like gold and the forex markets. A Bank of Ghana report also revealed trading activities on the stock market declined in the first quarter of the year. Stock market analyst Betha Atubiga has been analyzing reasons for this development.
They are not only fleeing from the stock market, but some of them are also moving away from investing or holding their funds in currencies such as the dollar to invest in gold. And there are several reasons why people would want to invest in gold. And one of it is to hedge inflation. And one of the factors that also move gold prices up is when economies are worsening or when most economies are not doing so well. And we all know what's happening right now with the coronavirus pandemic. A lot of people, a lot of countries have been impacted negatively, and a lot of equity markets too are also having the effect, the direct impact this time around. And looking at what is happening right now, people who want to have actually moved their funds from these equity markets to investment in gold because of these factors that are happening right now. The economies are worsening and people want to take advantage of that, and they are investing in an asset or a commodity that does well when the economies are not doing so well. And gold is one of these commodities that's doing well in a worsening economy. So that's one of the reasons, and they are also using it to hedge inflation because during this pandemic, we all witnessed what happened in Ghana before the lockdowns. Prices of goods and some services actually went up, and we saw inflation moving from the single digits into the positive digits, double digits again. It moved to 11.30, came down to 11.20%, and now it's 11.40%. And that should tell you the impact of COVID and how food prices went up. So people are...
In more news tonight, the Ghana Mine Workers Union is making a strong case for the recapitalization of the mining sector. Speaking to Joy Business at the union's National Executive Council, General Secretary of the union, Abdul Munim Bani, said the increased investment for the sector will improve the sector's market offerings and create more jobs.
The Ghana Mine Workers Union has cautioned government to not rush in the imposition of windfall tax on mining companies in view of the soaring gold prices on the world market. According to the union's General Secretary, Abdul Mumin Bana, an ambitious recapitalization plan would rather place the mining industry on a sound footing to create additional jobs in the economy.
We believe as a union that it's important to recapitalize, because recapitalization would afford opportunity for expansion of infrastructure, mining infrastructure and mining systems. We also believe that it will give us opportunity to increase exploration activity, given the critical nature of the stage we find ourselves as a country. The Ghana Mine Workers Union believes that rather than imposing windfall taxes on these mining companies, we should give them opportunity to pump the money back into the business.
Mr. Bana spoke to Joy Business at the union's National Executive Council meeting, which was held in Sunyani. On his part, the national chairman of the Mine Workers Union, Mensa Jakari, expressed worry about fixed contract mining.
Permanent workers, full-time workers are made redundant. And the sad aspect is that when they are made redundant and they are getting them back, they employ them.
Thank you for staying with us on JoyNews Prime. Gary Al Smith here with the sport. Now, the leadership of the Ghana Football Association will not be paid ex-gratia, but would receive allowances of up to 300% more than their predecessors. Now, this recommendation for the emolument was made by Frederick Moore's Compensation Committee. We have more in this report.
The three-man committee, headed by Frederick Moore, Chief Executive Officer of House of Oak, with Delali Senaye, CEO of Inter-Allies, and Samson Nateyo, a financial consultant and lecturer, as members, recommended that the president of the GFA, Kurt Okraku, should be given a monthly allowance of 12,000 Ghana cedis compared to that of Kwesi Nyantakyi, who had his figure increased to 4,388 Ghana cedis in 2018. The vice president, Mark Addo, would be on 7,000 Ghana cedis, almost 4,000 Ghana cedis more than Georgia Free, who had his allowance increased from 1,500 Ghana cedis to 3,484 Ghana cedis in 2018. The rest of the executive council members would be on 4,000 Ghana cedis compared to the other three emergency committee members of 2018 who were on 2,621 Ghana cedis. Executive committee members were not on monthly allowance in the previous administration. Other emoluments, such as per diem of $500 and $400 for foreign travels of the president and vice president, would also be discussed. ExCo members would be on $300 for foreign travels, and flights should be on business class tickets for all. In 2018, the per diem for president, his vice, and EMCO members for foreign travels were boxed for 7 days and paid. Kwesi Nyantakyi and Georgia Free were on $1,980 and $1,583 respectively for a minimum of 7 days trip, while the rest of the EMCO received $1,187 for the same duration. For local travel, all members of the defunct executive committee, including president, were on 300 Ghana cedis. This figure has been increased by 100% for the president, who would be on 600 Ghana cedis, 200 Ghana cedis more for the vice president, and 100 Ghana cedis increase for the rest of the ExCo. Some members of Congress have raised concerns about the absence of financial data to back the ability of the association to pay such emoluments. Others argue that the remuneration of current leaders of the association should be dependent on how much they have contributed to the growth of the company. They say the economic value-added model should be prioritized to determine the executive compensation or emoluments. However, Frederick Moore's committee have suggested an end to the payment of ex-gratia to members of the Executive Council as previously practiced. Ex-gratia for the FA leadership between 2011 and 2015 was $15,000 for each member of the Kwesi Nyantakyi-led administration.
GFA Congress, as we build up to it, is happening on the 1st of September. Now, the GFA has also prepared a budget of over 71 million Ghana cedis, which is about $12 million for the next financial year, and that will be presented to Congress next month. Now, the football governing body, in their convocation of Congress document, said the money is required effective July the 1st, 2020, when it's passed, to the 30th of June, 2020. The money will cover 7 thematic areas: football governance, football competitions, projects and grants, administrative governance, administrative and running expenses, CAPEX expenditure, and contingency.
The money is expected to cover 4 thematic areas: football governance, football competitions, administrative governance, administrative and running expenses, and contingency. In the document, the GFA says the drive by our marketing department will generate the revenue required. Part of the revenue would be from Puma, the key sponsors of the football governing body in the country, and StarTimes, the broadcast rights holder of the Ghana Premier League and the FA Cup. Puma and StarTimes are expected to give the GFA a combined 8,840,000 Ghana cedis. Other sources of revenue for the association are expected to come from FIFA Forward, CAF, EC, and UEFA Assist. About 46.9 million would be generated from these institutions. Annually, FIFA contributes $750,000 to the Ghana Football Association. Protests, appeals, fines are all sources of internal revenue generations, and it is expected to yield 327,400 Ghana cedis, whilst players' registration, intermediary, and transfers are earmarked to give the FA 8,769,122 Ghana cedis. Other sponsorship proceeds the leadership anticipates would generate 6,774,651. The additions of these figures takes the total budget of the GFA to 71,642,158 Ghana cedis. The cost of other items such as fuel and water would be taken care of by companies the FA intends to partner.
So we'll be building up to the GFA Congress, and stay with us, especially online, for more stories from the Joy Sports team. I'm Gary Al Smith. Thank you for your time.
Time now for ShowBiz. Becky is here with the very latest. Hi, Becky.
Hello to you, Aisha. How you doing?
I'm good.
Do you know that we have a new Miss Ghana 2020?
I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, it happened actually virtually, but it happened at the it happened at the not conference center, but the other. Let's listen to. So the lady,
National Theatre?
Yeah, National Theatre. So the lady Monique Mawulawe Agbedekoui, she was crowned a queen of Miss Ghana 2020. That's, you know, a lot of people don't know about that.
I don't know that it actually happened.
Yeah. That was it. But Aisha, let's move away from Miss Ghana. Congratulations to her, though.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's Kojo Entry right there. Kojo Entry was speaking to you, obviously, on the PM Express, and he's been talking about musical beats. He says that. Let your work speak for you. Basically, that's what you need to do. Let's listen to Kojo Entry.
It is not healthy. I think, and this is just an advice to the young ones, I think whatever you put yourself, say, this is what I want to be, speak with that talent. If I say speak with that talent, I'm talking about someone like Azuma Nelson, being a boxer. Azuma never spoke. He spoke with his fist. Ukujina ring anymore. Pow. He's not a speaker of parliament.
Yeah.
And he speaks with his fist. Abedi Pele spoke with his foot. And if you've taken on music and you say, I want to be a musician, speak with your music. Your music is out there. Your songs are out there. They are speaking for you. It's not time for you to go and battle with someone to show, say.
Battle of words.
But maybe they'll say I'm old-fashioned.
And that was Kojo Entry.
Yes,
of course,
right there.
Words for wise is enough.
It's enough.
Thanks so much for bringing us ShowBiz.
Anytime, I shall see you tomorrow.
And before we go, junior high school candidates across the country got served the one hot meal promised by President Akufo-Addo in his recent address to the nation on measures being taken to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The president had promised the students currently in school preparing for their BC a meal every day beginning today, the 24th of August, after they complained of hunger. JoyNews' Upper East correspondent Albert Sori was at some of the schools in the Bogatanga municipality and reports that students were served a pack of jollof rice and an egg each today. And that's it for the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our day.